We're here at Gus Engling Wildlife Management Area, located in the Post Oak Savanna ecoregion of Texas. The Post Oak Savanna, as the name implies, is primarily a grassland. You'll notice a lot of trees in here. This has happened due to land use changes over time. We looked at this, which primarily grassland, which over time, without any disturbance, it will turn into an oak woodland. Primary oaks. We also have hickory. There's a lot of trees. The overstory is great. It provides a lot of masts for wildlife, but one of the issues, if left undisturbed, it grows too thick. So one of the things we use as a research and demonstration area, we try to manage this property so that we can pass information along to private landowners, teach them the proper way to manage native habitat. One of the components that you'll see here behind us is the native grasses. These grasses are very important, both in structure and form. Also, the bare ground in between those native grasses is very important for allowing poults free movement. You'll notice the low woody regrowth, which is real important for cover for the turkeys as they move through the woods. You can get it to where it's too thick and it'll impede their movement. So what we like to do is to burn these on a regular interval every 3-4 years in order to set back that woody succession, promote herbaceous plants. Native plants respond really well to burning. And you can see we have a fairly open understory with low cover that allows for the turkeys to have concealment, yet are still able to move through the woods. One thing we found with the turkey release here recently, we've been tracking these birds quite a bit, and we've seen that they really like to utilize these closed canopy forests or these canopy areas. They don't like to get out in the open as much when they're not nesting. One of the reasons is it provides safe cover from predators. They feel comfortable in there, but you have this understory where there's food. There's a herbaceous layer that provides a lot of the insects that they still need. One of the limitations of these woods is that they tend to grow too thick and the canopy closes in too tightly, which allows very little sunlight to penetrate to the forest floor, which causes a lack of desirable plants growing. So one of the things fire does is it gets rid of a lot of this leaf litter, but it will also promote a lot of these plants to grow on the understory. It'll decrease the basal area, decrease the canopy cover, but it takes a long time. And a lot of times the fires that we are using to manage this habitat aren't the same severity as a wildfire that we're trying to mimic that would have burned through here extremely hot, extremely intense. It would have killed a lot of large trees. And that's one of the thoughts, is that those intense wildfires would have kept the tree canopies down even more. So we have to use fire creatively. We also have to use a lot of other methods to try to achieve our goals. Sometimes in certain areas we could come in and do a timber thinning to get the desired result, where we have enough sunlight reaching the ground to where we can get the plants to grow, and the turkeys really seem to respond well to a lower basal area than what most of these woods normally would be. Another important factor that we look at for turkey habitat is small openings. Historically, throughout East Texas, there were small openings around. More recently, a lot of these openings have been converted to tame grass pastures for hay or cattle production, which don't have that much wildlife value due not only to the fact that it's monotypic species, but the structure of the grass itself doesn't really lend itself much to the natural history of these native animals. So one of the things we like to see is small openings, 5 to 30 acres in size, which seem to be small enough where the turkeys feel comfortable that they're close to cover, but not so large that they'll get way out in the wide open space. That's one of the things very important to have, is have these small openings interspersed throughout these woodland areas as well. We're in an area now that we previously burned. We're actually about 6 months post-burn. One of the misconceptions about burning is that animals won't use it or that it'll damage habitat. One of the things we've shown with our burning program here is that it is actually very productive. The turkeys really like to use these areas, particularly 6 months to about 2 to 3 years after the burn. They're extremely productive for turkeys as well as a lot of your other native wildlife. But the nesting, the brood rearing habitat, all of this is enhanced by the burning.